Who's calling that shit? Who's calling that shit? Who's calling that shit?
There's something weirdly poetic about silence, especially when it comes from the loudest man in hip-hop. Drake, the once untouchable hitmaker, the man who could set the internet on fire with a single Instagram post, is gone. No cryptic captions, no late night uploads, no surprise features, just silence. And that silence, it's not peace, it's defeat. Because ever since Kendrick Lamar lit a match under the entire rap industry and walked away grinning, Drake's carefully crafted kingdom has been crumbling. And the king, he's vanished from his own court. This isn't just a hiatus, this is a retreat. And the signs are everywhere. Let's rewind. 1 year ago, Kendrick dropped Not Like Us.
Oh, my babies. Woke up looking for the broccoli. Keep a horn.
A song that wasn't just a diss, it was a declaration, a statement, a funeral march wrapped in a club anthem. And ever since that beat first hit streaming platforms, the rap game hasn't been the same. Kendrick didn't just call Drake out, he outclassed him, outplayed him, and outlasted. And as the dust settled, we all waited for Drake's next move. Except now, there is no move. And that's exactly what makes this so powerful. Because when has Drake ever been quiet for this long? This is the same guy who turned petty spats into albums, who couldn't help but poke and prod at rivals with subliminals tucked behind every bar. But now, nothing. No Instagram stories, no Apple Music exclusives, no sudden guest verses, just quiet. And when a man like Drake falls silent, it doesn't mean he's plotting, it means he's got nothing left to say. Tap that like button if you're already feeling the shift in the air. Smash subscribe if you've been watching this Kendrick versus Drake war unfold from the beginning, because it's far from over. We're just getting started. Now let's break it down. Drake's entire brand, his aura, his mystique, was built on omnipresence. He was the culture, a walking meme, a playlist staple, a headline machine. When drama sparked, he poured gasoline. When a narrative slipped, he posted, tweeted, or dropped a verse to snatch it back. So, what does it say when that machine just stops? Ever since the Kendrick fallout, Drake's playbook hasn't just failed him, it's exposed him. For months he clawed for relevance, tossing subliminal after subliminal, posting weird throwback shade, even rolling out overproduced videos like the Nokia IMAX drop in a desperate bid to create a moment. But none of it stuck. Meanwhile, Kendrick, he didn't just drop records, he curated moments in time. Not Like Us, Meet the Grams, and everything in between reshaped the culture. Kendrick didn't play Drake's game, he changed the board entirely. And while Drake was busy chasing trends, Kendrick was crafting legacy. The moment Kendrick kicked off his Grand National Tour, it was game over, sold out stadiums, viral freestyles, celebrities in the crowd mouthing every bar like gospel. Even casual fans knew this wasn't a tour, it was a victory lap. And what did Drake do in response? A couple weak subs, some random cryptic posts, then radio silent. Because even he had to admit it, the man who built a career on controlling the narrative had finally lost it. And if that wasn't enough, the numbers told the same story. Luther sat untouched at the top of the charts for 12 straight weeks, unbothered, unchallenged. Meanwhile, Nokia, despite all the bells and whistles Drake could buy, fizzled out faster than a tweet apology. No virality, no comeback, no momentum, just silence. And in this game, silence is louder than any beat drop. This is the first time in years that Drake isn't trending, isn't taunting, isn't posting from a courtside seat or luxury suite. This isn't calculated calm. This is Drake bowing out. And Kendrick, he's not just winning, he's dominating. Let's talk facts. The Grand National Tour isn't just a success, it's breaking records. It's outpacing Drake's It's All a Blur tour in revenue, reach, and cultural impact. Cities that barely cared about live rap before are now lighting up for Kendrick like he's the second coming of Pac. There's no ceiling to his momentum right now. And just when you think it can't get bigger, here comes the anniversary. 1 year since the most watched, most dissected, most explosive rap beef in history. 1 year since a lyrical nuclear war dropped on our playlists and rewrote the rules of engagement. Not Like Us, Euphoria, Meet the Grams, tracks that didn't just win the battle, they shifted the genre. Rappers are still picking sides. Media outlets are still rewriting headlines. Fans are still quoting bars like scripture. And where is Drake? Absent. Not just physically, but spiritually. Like he knows the fight's over. Like he's standing outside the arena with no ticket and no plan. And as wild as it sounds, it's not just Kendrick doing the damage. Drake's own people, they're helping bury him. From Maul stumbling through interviews and trying to convince us that Drake didn't lose, the battle lost him, yes really, to OVO affiliates scrambling to spin the narrative like carnival barkers, it's been a masterclass in public collapse. Every time someone opens their mouth to defend Drake, they dig the hole deep. And the fans, they see it. This isn't just about songs anymore, it's about truth, authenticity, culture. And Kendrick owns all of it now. It's not just that Kendrick won the beef, it's how he won. With precision, with poise, with control. Kendrick didn't rant, he didn't spiral, he strategized. Every move calculated, every diss deliberate, every moment unforgettable. Meanwhile, Drake was on defense the entire time, panicking, oversharing, trying to meme his way back into control, and now he's exhausted every tool in his once flawless PR kit. The jokes don't land, the subliminals don't bite, the music doesn't move, and that leaves him where he is today, silent, sidelined, and stuck. For a guy who once told the world, they don't make them like me no more, this moment hits hard. Because now, it's not about beef, it's about succession, about legacy. And Kendrick has it. He didn't just win the war, he inherited the throne. From stadium tours to chart dominance to cultural cachet, Kendrick has elevated the game in a way Drake never truly could. Not because Drake lacked talent, but because Kendrick never needed the antic, and that's the real difference. Drake needed to be seen. Kendrick just needed to be heard. One man chased virality, the other chased legacy. And now, the scoreboard reflects it. Look around. Every conversation about hip-hop's future starts and ends with Kendrick. Every headline, every podcast debate, every comment section war circles back to him. Even in silence, Kendrick's presence is everywhere. And Drake? He's missing. No rollout, no rebound, no record. Just missing. And that, right there, is why this moment is historic. Because for the first time ever, Drake isn't in control of the conversation. And he knows it. You can feel it in the way OVO is scrambling. You can hear it in the desperate voices of his closest ally. People like Maul bending logic into knots, claiming the battle lost Drake like it's some kind of philosophical truth bomb, when really it's just elite level coping. And DJ Academics, he's pivoted from defense to damage control, bouncing between excuses like a glitching NPC, but it's not working. Because everyone saw it happen. We watched Drake take shot after shot only to miss the target every time. And Kendrick, he didn't flinch. Instead, he turned the entire genre into his canvas. Dropped bangers, went #1, took over streaming, then sold out arena. And through it all, he kept it hip-hop. No antics, no drama, no stunts. Just bars, brilliance, and presence. And now, as we hit the 1-year anniversary of Not Like Us, Euphoria, and Meet the Grams, the culture is taking a moment to breathe, to reflect, and to remember. Remember who elevated the art, who respected the craft, who left everything on the mic and didn't need to explain it afterward. And Drake, he's the ghost of a golden era that might never return. Even Nokia, his last hope of regaining musical traction, couldn't do what Luther did with ease, hold the top of the charts and become the moment. Despite all the production, the press, the promos, it just didn't land. That's not a bad song problem, that's a trust problem. The fans don't believe in him like they used to. And in hip-hop, when you lose trust, you lose everything. Let's be honest, Drake used to be untouchable. Every diss rolled off him, every scandal got spun into a single, every controversy turned into conversation and conversation turned into sales. But this time, there's no spin. There's no carefully worded caption to reset the vibe. No big feature to distract us, no summer anthem to make us forget. Just a cold, deafening silence. And that silence says more than any lyric ever could. Because what does a man say when the entire culture has moved on without him? The truth is, Drake didn't just lose to Kendrick, he lost control of the narrative, of the charts, of the moment, and in a genre built on bravado, on dominance, on presence, absence is surrender. We're watching history, y'all. This is the first time in Drake's career where he's truly cornered. No gimmicks left, no leverage, no comeback in the chamber. Even he knows it. Why else disappear during the biggest cultural victory lap hip-hop has seen in a decade? Why else let Kendrick tour in peace without a single rebuttal or distraction? Because sometimes the loudest move is no move at all. And if you've been riding through this entire saga since the first shots, the first tracks, the first crowd reactions, go ahead, tap, like Kendrick tapped the crown, and slam that subscribe button, because we're not just watching music beefs, we're watching a genre reshape itself in real time. And you better believe there's more coming. Because while Drake disappears into silence, Kendrick, he's just getting started. Now look, we've seen careers bounce back from worse, we've seen legends fall and rise again, but this feels different. This isn't a break, it's a reset, a reckoning. Because as Kendrick continues to stack wins from Not Like Us hitting legendary status, to Luther dominating Untouched for 12 weeks, to the Grand National Tour rewriting what hip-hop tours even look like, Drake has no answer. And what's worse, he knows the world is watching. Watching as the man who once claimed to be too big to fail disappears in real time. Watching as Kendrick, without the antics, without the drama, simply execute. And the fans, they're done waiting. Drake's silence doesn't feel like strategy. It feels like surrender. And in this culture, surrender doesn't just end a chapter, it ends an era. So maybe that's what this really is. The end of the Drake era, the rise of the Kendrick dynasty. A generational pivot happening right before our eyes. And now, the only question left is, how long will Drake stay gone? Because Kendrick, he isn't slowing down. He's not looking back. He's already on the next wave, making music, making history, and making sure no one ever forgets who walked away from the battlefield undefeated. So what happens next? Will Drake resurface with a reinvention or vanish into luxury exile? Will Kendrick keep stacking W's or surprise us with one last lyrical coffin drop? Whatever it is, one thing's for sure. This story ain't over. So if you want to stay locked in while hip-hop history rewrites itself in real time, slam that, subscribe, tap that like, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Drake silent, or was he silent? Catch you in the next one.